I was afraid to tell anybody that I was depressed. I had just come from the highlight of my sports ministry career, where I was actually preaching at the Olympics in Barcelona. So what a highlight, and feeling in my element. Go back to Russia, cold, dark, going to the other side of the city on the metro. And Bud Hinkson, the mentor, is on his deathbed. He's been in an accident and doesn't look like he's going to survive. And it was like somebody punched me in the stomach. And I had to sit down. And Bud, was gone. And life was not easy. And I lost my joy. When I lose my joy, sometimes I get sarcastic and negative. And the team, we had a team of guys there, and they noticed it. And Noreen noticed it, my wife. I'm sure the kids must have noticed it, but Noreen, said, well, Carl, why don't you get up and make sandwiches for the kids? Because she knew, that would motivate me to get out of bed rather than and so that summer, I was afraid to tell anybody that I was depressed. I kind of felt like if I go back after being in Russia for 2 years and I have to go back, I'm a failure. I'm an athlete. I want to win. I want my hand to be raised at the end. And there was some kind of a thing inside me. Then after I was able to tell people, they said, well, I wish you had told us. We would have been praying for you. This is something that a lot of people struggle with. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And there's no simple answers. And for some people, it's having a good prescription of medication. And a lot of times it's what you think. In Philippians, Paul says, rejoice. I'm going to say it again, rejoice, always. And then he says, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is kind, whatever is trustworthy, whatever is of good repute, think about these things. So I began to say out loud these Bible verses of who I was in Christ. It says I'm forgiven, that I'm a child of God, that I am significant, that I have a hope, I've got an inheritance, and that these things don't come from us trying harder, but these things come from us agreeing with God and giving up and dying to self. This is something, this kind of roller coaster type of life that, that wasn't the last time. There have been other times when I had a little bit of a dip. Even just 2 or 3 years ago, there was a dip where I just didn't have the joy. So it was a hard time. But now it's something that I share with guys because it's very common. Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that things are going to get better all the time. Matter of fact, the Bible talks about the struggles we will have. But it's Christ living in us that enables to get through the good times and the hard times, to walk through the shadow of the valley of death and fear not, because Christ is with us. So we need to realize the truth from the Bible, not the lies of the world and of Satan. And that's not what my King has told me. Jesus has said, I'm free. He says, I'm worthy. And he who is in me is greater than he who is in the world, gives me confidence. Allowing God to shine the light in my life